I've worked customs for 11 years. I've seen fake baby formula stuffed with drugs. I've seen jacket linings packed with cash. I've seen every trick there is. That day, a student was coming through inspection. The suitcase looked normal. So did he. The x-ray showed nothing. I didn't clear him. I told him to open the case. Inside the hidden compartment, 3 stones were just lying there. Dull gray. Looked like something you'd see anywhere. I stared at them for 3 seconds. Didn't say a word. I lifted my radio and said one code phrase. 10 minutes later, the whole airport was locked down. I've worked customs for 11 years. This job beat all my unrealistic fantasies out of me and sharpened every instinct I had. I've seen mothers hide contraband in formula cans. The look in their eyes was despair. I've seen businessmen sew stacks of US cash into jacket linings. The look in their eyes was greed. I've seen young guys swallow dozens of capsules, trying to smuggle with their own bodies. The look in their eyes was numb. In 11 years, I've seen too many eyes, and I learned to read people just by looking at them. That day, I was posted at Inspection Desk 6, International Arrivals, Terminal 3. 3 in the afternoon. Traffic was steady. A young man rolled up with a silver suitcase, completely ordinary looking. White t-shirt, jeans, black-rimmed glasses. Looked like a student. He handed me his passport. The cover looked brand new. I opened it. Gao Yuan, 21, coming back from studying in H country. Welcome home. I stamped it, then handed it back. His hand was steady. His nails were perfectly trimmed. Thanks. He smiled politely and started pushing the case toward the belt. Hold up, I spoke. Gao Yuan stopped and looked back. There was just the right amount of confusion in his eyes. Sir, your bag needs to go through the x-ray. Sure, he nodded. No annoyance at all. He lifted the suitcase onto the belt himself. Everything about it was too proper, too normal. I watched the monitor. The x-ray passed over clothes and books. A few local snacks, a razor. No abnormal density, no suspicious shape. My coworker Xiao Li on the x-ray station flashed me an OK sign. I didn't move. My eyes stayed on Gao Yuan's face. He stood there quietly waiting with a slight smile on his face. But his left thumb was rubbing the second knuckle of his index finger fast. Classic tell. Small, repetitive movement. Trying to ease extreme inner tension. What was he nervous about? A suitcase with nothing wrong in it? Sir, your bag is clear. You can go. Xiao Li reminded me from the side. Gao Wen nodded at me and reached for the suitcase. Open it. My voice wasn't loud, but it was clear. Xiao Li froze. Gao Yuan's hand stopped in midair. The smile on his face stiffened for a second, then settled back into place. Didn't that officer just say it was fine? His tone stayed calm. But that left hand stopped rubbing. The muscles tightened. Routine inspection. Cooperate, please. I looked straight into his eyes and said it again. Open it. Gao Yuan held my gaze for 3 seconds, then lowered his eyes. Fine. He lifted the suitcase onto the inspection counter and keyed in the lock code. Inside was just as clean and ordered as he was. The clothes were folded perfectly. The books were covered and stacked neatly in the corner. I put on gloves and started checking. One item at a time, one book at a time. Nothing. People nearby were already whispering like I was making a big deal out of nothing. Even Xiao Li looked awkward, like maybe I was being too jumpy. The corner of Gao Yuan's mouth even started curling back up. That was a relieved smile. I ignored everybody and emptied the suitcase completely. Then I tapped the lining at the bottom with my knuckles. Thunk, thunk, thunk. The sound was dull. I looked up at Gao Yuan. The smile vanished from his face. What replaced it was dead white panic. Open it, the hidden compartment. His Adam's apple bobbed. I didn't know this suitcase had one. His voice was drying out. I'm asking one more time, open it. I pulled a multi-tool screwdriver from under the inspection counter. Gao Yuan looked at the tool in my hand. His lips started trembling, but he didn't move. I stopped talking, jammed the screwdriver into the seam, and pried. Click. The lining panel popped open a crack. A faint smell drifted out like dirt mixed with motor oil. I tore the whole lining panel off. The compartment was padded with thick foam. In the foam were 3 perfectly cut slots, and inside those slots 3 stones. Dull gray, rough-edged, like river rocks you'd pick up anywhere. Xiao Li leaned in for a look. His face was full of confusion. Rocks! That's it! The passengers around us started buzzing with comments. Gao Yuan looked like he was about to collapse, leaning on the counter and gasping. He looked at those 3 stones with pure fear in his eyes. I ignored him. All my attention was on the stones. I stared at them for 3 seconds, then picked one up. It was cold, heavy, rough on the surface, even caked with dried mud. I lifted it in front of my eyes and tilted it under the overhead inspection light. At one tiny exact angle, a hair-thin purple streak flashed across the surface. My heart dropped. I set the stone down, said nothing, and grabbed the radio on my shoulder. The second I pressed the button, it felt like all the noise in the hall got cut off. My voice was steady. No emotion in it at all. Desk 6, the rock is hard. 1 second of silence on the radio. Then Zhang Lei answered with 2 sharp words. Copy that. 10 minutes later, every entrance and exit in Terminal 3 was sealed. The alarm ripped through the building. The second it went off, the whole inspection hall exploded into chaos. Passengers screaming, kids crying, evacuation announcements blaring over each other. Gao Yuan crumpled to the floor, white as a sheet. I didn't look at him. I put the 3 stones back in the compartment and closed the lining. Then I shut the suitcase and slapped on the highest level seal. By the time I finished, airport SWAT was already rushing in fully armed. They threw up a perimeter. Nobody move! Stay where you are! The shout cut through everything. Captain Zhang Lei came striding over with 2 anti-smuggling officers. His face was more serious than I'd ever seen it. Zhuang Hai, what have we got? No wasted words. Target, Gao Wen, male, 21, returning student from H country. Suspicious item. 3 stones in the suitcase's hidden compartment. I used the phrase, the rock is hard. Zhang Lei's pupils tightened. The rock is hard was an internal customs code for the highest level of national security threat. Once triggered, it meant a smuggling case that could hit core national interests. That was beyond normal customs authority. It had to be handed to state security immediately. I'd worked with Zhang Lei for 7 years. I'd never used that code once. He knew I wouldn't joke about something like this. "You sure?" he asked, low. 100%, I answered. He didn't ask anything else and grabbed the secure phone. Zhang Lei, Capital Airport Customs. Initiate plan Bedrock. Target found at Inspection Desk 6, Terminal 3. State security support requested now. By the time he hung up, 2 anti-smuggling officers had hauled Gao Yuan up and cuffed him. That silver suitcase was locked inside a custom-built blast-proof metal container. Everything moved with tense, practiced efficiency. In under 20 minutes, 3 black Hongqi sedans came straight through the airport restricted access road to the tarmac. A group of people in black suits stepped out, hard faces, sharp presence. Leading them was a woman, about 30, short hair, eyes like blades. She wore no ID, but the second she appeared, airport police brass stepped up and saluted. She walked straight to Zhang Lei. "Xiao Wenjun, Ministry of State Security, Incident Lead." Her voice was as cold as her stare. "Customs Officer Zhang Lei, where are the suspect and the evidence?" Zhang Lei pointed to Gao Yuan in the armored vehicle and the metal container being held separately. "Who found it first?" Xiao Wenjun's eyes swept across us. "I did." I stepped forward. Her eyes stayed on me for a few seconds, like she was x-raying me. "Walk me through it." I gave her the whole sequence, from the moment Gao Yuan stepped up to my desk to the moment I found the stones, including my read on his micro-expressions and my inspection of the suitcase. "So you pried open the compartment, saw the stones, and immediately reported a national security threat? What made you think 3 ordinary rocks were a national security threat?" Instinct. A cold curve pulled at Xiao Wenjun's mouth. She wasn't even trying to hide the sarcasm. "Officer Zhuang, right? Do you realize that because of your instinct, the entire capital airport is at a standstill, and the economic hit is massive? Do you know how many international flights have been diverted right now? Do you know what kind of responsibility you'll be carrying if this turns out to be nothing?" The questions came like bullets. I didn't back down. I met her eyes and said, "I know. Betting my career and future on instinct. I'm not betting." I said every word slowly, because I saw a purple flash. "A purple flash?" Xiao Wenjun frowned. "At one specific angle under the inspection light, there was a faint purple filament on the stone's surface. It was tiny, but I saw it. That was the real reason I triggered the highest level alert. 3 years ago, my mentor, veteran customs chief Lin Haidong, was killed during a border interdiction mission. What they intercepted that time was a new kind of smuggled material disguised as common ore. At the internal briefing afterward, I saw the description of that material. Its core compound, under a specific light source, gave off a unique purple glow. After that case, the code phrase, 'the rock is hard,' and the bedrock protocol were formally created. Fewer than 5 people in the entire customs system knew that detail. Zhang Lei was one of them. The second he heard me say purple flash, his face changed too. Xiao Wenjun clearly didn't know that part. She gave a cold laugh. "Purple flash? Officer Zhuang, have you been reading too many novels?" She waved a hand. "Take the evidence to the isolation lab. Tech team analyzes it now. Take the suspect to the interview room. I'm handling the questioning myself." "Yes, ma'am." Her people moved immediately. Xiao Wenjun turned to Zhang Lei. "I need one of your interview rooms, and Officer Zhuang stays at the airport until I have a conclusion. He'll remain available for questioning." She turned and walked off. Her heels hit the floor with a sharp, steady click. Zhang Lei patted my shoulder. His expression was complicated. "Zhuang, hi, Captain, I stand by this with my uniform on." I cut him off. Zhang Lei let out a breath and said nothing else. The next few hours were a slow grind. They put me in a small break room with 2 SWAT officers standing guard outside. No phone, no contact with the outside world. Time crawled by second. Night fell outside. Terminal 3 was still under lockdown. The tarmac was empty, quiet like a ghost town. I could imagine the storm outside. But inside, I was strangely calm. I trusted my eyes, and I trusted my mentor even more.